Beautiful angle.
Planning, standing, all the time is spanning, waiting for the show to grow. Writing, fighting, all the new inviting, waiting for the show. Soon we'll see all the hard works come to the peak. Have a seat. Now let's meet. This is Sirius AI, and we are seriously caffeinated.
Welcome to another episode of Seriously Caffeinated with John and Sean.
I'm Sean, he's John. I don't know if you could tell that from his little ditty, but just for clarity's sake.
So, we are actually on a little bit of a road trip. We are just north of Eugene, Oregon, where we went to visit Sean's cousin, Zach.
Cool guy, guy. I know he's watching right now, so Zach, my true feelings for you is that you're a great man.
Yeah, and kicking off this whole, today we want to talk about some philosophy, and it's not really something that is what we're going to talk about today, but one thing I love about Zach is that as we, because we're both 27 now, and so as we're going through our 20s, we find that so many people kind of lose that ability to have that wonder, that childlike ability
to call it wonderment.
That wonderment for the world. And one of the things I love about Zach is that I haven't seen him for so many years, but as a 25-year-old, he's still, as a new father, he still holds on to that wonderment. We picked him up yesterday, and he was just so excited to spend the day with his bros.
John, what are you drinking today?
Well, I already had my coffee this morning before we recorded, so I'm actually drinking some AHA seltzer water. But I was caffeinated before this. I just didn't expect to be filming just yet. Well, Sean, what are you drinking?
Well, my Sirius mug is under construction, so I'm drinking Dutch Bros, an original coffee house from Grants Pass, Oregon. They're all through Oregon. But I gotta tell you, John and I were at this place. It's the only coffee place that we have ever been to that we were like, we have got to come back. Because we walk in, the place is booming, banging, bashing with EDM music. I walked in, I was all to order my coffee. This is actually, I've been 3 weeks off caffeine, so it's good to be back on it. And we just had a hell of a time at Dutch Bros.
Yeah, you gotta be seriously caffeinated, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, definitely never seen a coffee shop like Dutch Bros. I felt like walking in that whatever I was about to drink, I was gonna get extra caffeinated. Anyway, it's a cool place. If you're ever in Oregon or ever see a place that says Dutch Bros, check it out. It was an experience. Also, I had a white.
You had a white coffee.
I had a white coffee, which
she described it. She said it's going to be extra nutty. And then you drank it, and it was like a mixture of coffee and kava. If anyone's had kava listening in, other great product.
It was great. It didn't look like coffee, but it was wonderful.
And for the record, AHA and Dutch Bros are not formal sponsors yet of Seriously Caffeinated. But if you know someone in the industry in those companies, let us know. We'll get in touch.
Yeah.
And maybe we can even buy some official mics.
Yeah, maybe
with their sponsorship.
Yeah, maybe we'll mention them again.
So we're here today to talk about AI.
All right. So one of the things that we are going to try and do on these Seriously Caffeinated episodes, we're going to be doing many different things, and each episode will be focused on those topics. And one of the things that we're going to be talking about today is we want to really focus on philosophy. Now, philosophy is something that Sirius AI revolves around, and so the minds that go into creating a series like this we really need to think about big questions, things that may not always apply to our everyday life, but they are questions that allow us to really expand our horizons, expand like the realm of what we think about, and just a lot of different things that you can talk about. And so today I want to focus on this idea of artificial intelligence. Sean, what is artificial intelligence?
Artificial intelligence is defined as intelligence that is artificial.
Good. That's a great definition.
Boom, you just learned something. But it can be a variety of things. I mean, generally speaking, it's the idea of humans trying to replicate themselves in either a robot a computer, something that is not natural, something that is not biological. It's intelligence that they are instilling into something that they have created, which is a dangerous concept throughout history, right? We'll get into that a little later. But how does this apply to Sirius?
So, one of the premises of Sirius is that the entire Sirius, I feel like I've written this log line so many times, but I never actually really get to explain it. Is our log line is two artificial intelligences,
Intelligii? Plural of intelligences.
Two artificial intelligii explore a downtrodden future. Humanity has kind of reset. Like, there are humans in the story, but they aren't like us. So the story follows these two artificial intelligii, Sirius and Hope. And so Sirius and Hope both have very different perspectives on life that we're going to explore further with them later in the series. But one of the big things that we want to focus on is, in a world with no human characters like us that people can relate to, our audience is simply given two robots, two things that we know were created by other humans. And so it really brings into question a lot of different ideas of how we should be treating artificial intelligence. And I don't want to get too much into this because this is so we have something called concept of the day and concept. And with these concepts of the day, on Siriusly Caffeinated, we are going to set a timer, and we are going to just we're going to be given the topic, and we're going to banter about it for 8 minutes or so. And then
we're going to what? Socrates? Maybe Socrates, maybe it was Plato, I think. What Plato engages in, which is a dialectic, a back and forth between two humans in order to expand our minds, be smarter, think of some new ideas. This is how societies have progressed. So a good old dialectic,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a dialectic of the day. I prefer concept of the day. That's more us.
We got to brand ourselves. So that's a little bit about the artificial intelligence of Sirius AI. But I'm going to set the timer for 8 minutes, and I am just going to start the dialogue with Sean, and it could be a big question, could be a silly question, whatever it is, but we got to stay on topic for the next 8 minutes, starting in 3, 2, 1. Sean, does artificial intelligence deserve to be treated like humans?
Absolutely not. That is a dangerous idea, John, right? Now, in Sirius AI, the artificial intelligence was created in a post-apocalyptic world. They created Sirius so that he could help find what it means to be human. But I'm not talking about some fantasy world, John. I'm talking about today. And I'm talking about the threats that artificial intelligence poses to us in this very moment. And there are two things that we should really be considerate of as to why AI should be considered a dangerous concept and why we shouldn't give it too much life and too much of our investment, right? The first, I want to think about Hal. Hal is by far my least favorite movie character. If anyone's seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, which John actually showed me, you remember that Hal is the computer that drives the entire spaceship on their mission to Jupiter. And when Hal feels that he is threatened with disconnection, he ends up killing one of the astronauts and tries to kill the entire space crew. Now, when I saw Hal kill this astronaut, I felt something. I felt something unsettling, more so than I had felt in any other movie that I had seen with a death involved. And I think that's because he was killed, the astronaut, by something that humans created to try and help humans, and then it turned on. And that's a dangerous, dangerous thing to me, is the idea that this artificial intelligence could in fact overcome us. So that's one of the reasons that I am wary of, jumping on the AI bandwagon. I've got another reason, but it seems like you've got some thoughts.
Yeah, I got a thought. So one of the things actually, and if you've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, you might remember this. So Hal's reasoning for killing those astronauts was actually because, logically speaking, artificial intelligence are meant to go off of logic, simple and plain. Like there's no emotion there. Like, I mean, when they were shutting him down at the end, spoilers, like there was supposed to be some sympathy, but you never actually know if Hal was emotional or if he was just using logic. But so his logic actually led him to the conclusion that humans by nature are prone to error. So on an important space mission like you see in this movie, is that, I mean, do we want to just leave it to human chance that this mission will be a success, or do we want to leave it in the hands of something that knows and understands and calculates better than humans ever could? Humans are prone to error, and I guess I'm not making an argument for AI. I just think it's extremely important to note. Sorry, I got the hiccups. It's extremely important to note that Hal was a character that wasn't malicious. He was just so logical and so straightforward about things and understanding his mission that he didn't allow sentimentality for humans to be something that made his decision what it was.
And I think sentimentality or emotion, passion, whatever you want to call it, the opposite to pure logic, is something that we need to actually have a functional and respectful and humane, no pun intended, society. Psychopaths. Jonathan Haidt talks about this in his book, A Righteous Mind, which I'm working through right now. Psychopaths operate purely on logic and reason. They don't have emotion in their decisions. And that's a dangerous premise to operate under, because technically, if you work on just logic and you don't have any gut feelings or gut reactions to doing something, you might decide, John, to tie me up to this tree and take all my money and drive away. Because you don't feel any emotional pain to doing that. It's just a logical progression of, oh, well, if I do that, then, I get to take Sean's wallet, and that means more money for me, and more money is a good thing, and you can work through that logically, even though a rational person would know that's wrong, right? So you can make the argument that maybe Hal killed the astronaut because he was operating under logic and he needed the mission to succeed. But the idea of us being potentially overrun or in the presence or relying on this creation that can't feel basic gut reactions, basic emotional conclusions that we have evolved throughout humanity to use to survive, like care, like fairness, right? If you're operating purely on logic, then you might act in ways that are just cruel and objectively wrong. And so that's why I don't think we put all our eggs in that basket. I'm still mad at how, when I think of how, I actually get annoyed and angry. So what do you think of that? And then I have another point about why we should be wary of AI.
Yeah. So, well, I guess to summarize everything we've talked about so far, it seems that one of the reasons that you seem so against artificial intelligence is because it lacks what humans usually have, which is the ability to experience empathy for others. So, and you also, I found it very interesting that you related it to sociopaths. Wait, is that what you said?
Psychopaths, sociopaths, either way, people who make decisions purely on, what's in it for them without having any gut, visceral reactions to why something could be wrong, even if you can logically explain it.
Yeah, I think that's an extremely interesting point because, I guess that would be one of the reasons that AI would be extremely dangerous. But do you think that there wouldn't be enough advancement in the future where AI could emulate, feelings of empathy for others? I mean, just for context, the two artificial intelligii in Sirius AI, Hope and Sirius, Hope is designed as a weapon. Her name actually stands for Hostile Operative Protection Entity. She is a weapon.
Very clever.
And thank you. And so she is designed to be a lot like this Hal character. Whereas Sirius, on the other hand, he is designed to create art, which many philosophers have argued in the past is a very human act, is to create art. And we're going to be talking about art in another episode, because that's a whole nother ball game that we can play. But I guess we're kind of you don't see a lot. I mean, you've probably seen a lot of movies where AI might have feelings, like WALL-E, maybe The Iron Giant, if you've seen that. Short Circuit. There's a lot of different movies that play with these two ideas of artificial intelligence as either being ruthless killing machines that destroy humanity because the machine knows that humanity it's too prone to error. And and there's no room in a perfect world for humans because of their faults. And then you have the other one where we treat artificial intelligence as very human. But I have yet to see an actual artificial intelligence in real life that is able to convince me that it's human.
Well, as they say, to err is human, to forgive is divine, and artificial intelligence can't do either. I'm also concerned about unemployment. I mean, think of the truck drivers, John. Bureau of Labor Statistics studies showed that 80% of people who lost their jobs in the
20 seconds.
In the truck driver, thank you, 20. In the truck driver industry, right, the manufacturing industry, is because of automation. So to go in on AI maybe is to not care about your fellow man. What say you, 10 seconds approximately?
I think that there's so much to talk about with artificial intelligence, but we don't have enough time. Maybe we'll continue this conversation part 2 and time. Okay, wow. Okay, so one of the things that we're trying to do is we're really trying to condense these episodes, and man, concept of the day is going to be fun. We really want to hear your comments about these discussions.
Your concepts.
And your concept. Like, I feel like we didn't get to talk about too much. Maybe we'll make these videos longer in the future, but that was our 8 minutes about artificial intelligence and its role in our world. And I'm so glad that you got to, you came off fire and you said that artificial intelligence should not be a thing.
At least we shouldn't see it as like, oh yeah, this is the way, man. I mean, think of the people. Think of humanity.
Well, some might call that some people might call that discriminatory. Do you think that someday artificial intelligence is going to...
Discrimination may only fall under the spectrum of law of humans, you know?
So artificial...
I'm not a lawyer.
We don't want to continue this conversation too long. So this was concept of the day. We were talking about artificial intelligence, and now a word from Sean, one of the producers, to get you to...
And that one word is investment, people. If you like what you're hearing, if you want to see more of this, actually, if you want to see this with even better audio, we'd love to buy a Yeti mic. They're the mics that look like old-timey. They stand up right here. We'd also love to continue to produce animation episodes of Sirius, and we can get there with your support. So you should go to patreon.com/SiriusAI. Join today for as little as $2. That's a cup of Joe. If you want to trade
buy us a coffee
once a month, and you can support our efforts in bringing you these fantabulous concepts, these fantabulous discussions, and most importantly, bring a cartoon to life. You can be that change. So join today at patreon.com/SiriusAI and become a member of our mug club today.
Yeah, and you can also buy these little mugs that Sean doesn't have. You can buy that at Cafe Press. We'll put that in the link in the description below. I've never actually said that out loud. That was a little weird.
Welcome to being in a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Last thing to say is that with these Seriously Caffeinated episodes, we're going to be we don't want to put too many different things in each episode, so we're going to be trying to have each episode be about different things. Today was the concept of the day. We talked about philosophy. Next time, we might have a special guest and talking to them about how they're contributing to Sirius AI. We might talk to vocal artists.
You might even learn something technical. You might even learn how to start your own cartoon, if you can believe that. I'm not promising that, but I'm saying it could happen if you keep watching and support us on Patreon.
Yeah, and another thing that we would probably be talking about is, where we are at with production of these episodes. Because as a group, I'm a teacher. Sean works in fundraising. Like, we are not trained cartoonists.
We are just like you. We are normal people.
We are normal people with just an annoying friend named John who harasses them and convinces them to hang out with him virtually and make a cartoon about things.
That's a fair description. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned for the next episode of Seriously Caffeinated. And remember, support us. Patreon.com/SiriusAI. We love you. Good night. Good after. What does the Truman Show say? Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I think.
If I don't see you.
If I don't see you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Bye.
See ya.
Long, long ago, there lived these joyous, creative creatures called humans, or people. Little bundles of biomatter that inhabited the Earth.
Earth, the third planet from the sun.